All right, let's go through fats, the final of the big three. These come into complements, and they are the smallest macro per day that we focus on, but they are really important. Before I get started, fats super important for lowering stress response and nourishing your body. So if you're highly inflamed, which is really common in today's society due to processed foods and stress and all the way we live our lives, fats are a really good way to come in and nourish you and calm down that inflammation. That's super important. The Western diet often includes an excess of omega-6 fats, leading to chronic inflammation and health problems such as weight gain, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and depression, and difficulty recovering from exercise. Foods with a long shelf life and a long ingredients list, including processed meats, frozen foods, cooking oils, and certain butters, not all butters, contribute to an imbalance. To improve health and avoid these conditions, it's important to consume more omega-3 fatty acids. All right, fish oil capsules is a good way to start if you're not currently supplementing with much omega-3 in the first place, but it's not enough. The Western world is often deficient in omega-3, and it's recommended that we consume somewhere between 30 and 60 grams per day. This is based off a macro, based off your body weight, and that'll determine how many grams, but it's usually somewhere between 40 to sort of 55 is the range we use here. So eating more fish and leafy green vegetables can definitely help, but it's hard to get them in without supplementing. So the quick and easy way to do it is using flaxseed oil. It's the most effective option because in my experience, most people don't eat fish as much as other protein sources. Mostly because it's expensive and a lot of people don't like it. I love it, but it is bloody expensive, so it's hard to eat it every day. So this is why we supplement. So using flaxseed oil with meals is the easiest way to ensure that we are getting the big three in and getting our fats in with a desired ratio of protein, carbohydrates, and fats at every mealtime. It has a mild nutty taste and may often, most of the time you don't even notice it's in there. You can use it in a capsule form, but the best way to get it in is through the oil. And you can buy it in lots of places now. It used to be only available in chemists, and it was in the fridge area, say at Chemist Warehouse. Melrose make it. It's in a bottle in the fridge, little purple bottle. But you can buy it cold pressed in the supermarket now. So the idea is that you shouldn't heat with it. It's not a cooking oil. You put it on food after you've cooked it because it is cold pressed. It extracts the nutrients once you heat it up. So about one dessert-sized spoonful of oil is a good way to look at it. It's a good way to measure it out. So yeah, like I said, if you heat it up, you can lose the nutritional value of it. So we don't want to cook with it. So the other thing that is probably underrated about fats, apart from the fact that it can slow down inflammation and slow down stress response if you're in a high stress state more regularly, so elevated cortisol, is it actually helps. If the more fat coming in, the more ability your body has to tap into fat for stored energy, and the better off your joints are going to recover from things like weight training. All right, so it also helps us slow down cravings for high energy carbohydrates because once again, it's coming in and lowering cortisol. And when we have high cortisol, our body starts to look for foods that are going to make us feel better. All right, if we can eat more fats, we'll get less inclination to eat high energy carbohydrates. And if you're used to eating lots of carbohydrates, this can be a bit of a shift. So using more fats in place of carbohydrates like avocados, like butters, like flaxseed oils and some other sources that we'll go through in a sec will be more beneficial. Let's go through the sources of fats. Omega-3 sources, these are the best ones, all right? And a lot of them are oils. You can see here, chia seeds is another good one if you're making overnight oats. Ghee is another underrated fat source. I cook a lot of meat with ghee. Then we have our nuts, our seeds. These are good things to add to things like stir fries, yogurts, protein balls if you make them out of almond butter and make them out of peanut butter. And then we have the not so good sources here. These fall into the 80-20 rule, which we're going to go into a bit later. I'm not saying you can't eat these foods ever, because you still need to have some enjoyment for life, but we need to be mindful not to eat them too often. All right. These are not so good fat sources. These are the ones who contribute to weight gain and cardiovascular disease. So here's your little foods chart, fats chart. This is the same thing as the carbohydrate and the protein chart. If you carry this around with you or have it in your phone, save somewhere and study it, you'll get much better at walking around the supermarket or walking around or picking a meal while you're out and understanding what to put in it when we want to look for the big three.